Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Jake Shupe, and I'm excited for our fourth and final segment of the book study that we've been doing. It's been a fun month so far. So this week, we are going to be covering chapters 6, 7, and 8 of the Align Your Health book by Dr. B.J. Hardick. Goes over the 5 essentials of max living. So parts 1, 2, and 3, you can find them and you can catch the replay, watch them on my Dr. Jake Shupe YouTube channel or on Freedom Family Chiropractic Facebook page. They're right there for you. We've learned a lot of stuff this month, and I'm excited to go over this last part with you guys. So let's get right into it here. If you're joining us, love to hear from you. You get some valuable insight out of this. Share this with a friend. Help somebody else out. Let's help some more people get healthy. And if you jump on here, feel free to say hi, give me a wave, throw some comments over here. We just love to interact with you guys. It's always a ton of fun. So we're going to start with chapter 6 today, and that is freeing the body of toxins. Toxins are everywhere. They're in the foods that we eat. They're in the air that we breathe. They're in the water that we consume. They're in the personal care products that we use. They are in the paints on the walls, the carpets on the floors. Toxins are everywhere. However, we can't freak out about this. We can't lose our minds and get neurotic about it. We've just got to understand that there's no way for us to completely avoid toxins. So we need to take a really sane approach and a practical approach to say, hey, we need to be aware of these toxins in our environment, and we need to, instead of living like the boy in the bubble for the rest of your life, which is not practical nor enjoyable, then we need to see what we can do to minimize our exposure to them first and foremost, and then also ways that we can get rid of toxins once they're already entered into our body. Am I right? I think so. Hey, Jen, thanks for joining us. You've been a trooper. I think I've seen you on here almost every single week, so awesome job. Got some more people tuning in here. Excellent. So I'm going to read something from page 102 or 103 from this chapter 6. I thought this was really good. So when talking about getting overwhelmed about toxins, I thought this was a great little paragraph. It says, be careful not to get in the overwhelm here. Stress and worry are our enemies, even when they're well-intended. It's true that toxins are everywhere and they pose great dangers, but unless you have a way to isolate yourself in a pure natural environment, eliminating them will be essentially impossible. Instead, identify realistic improvements that will lighten your toxic load to your body, your toxic load to your body. So basically, that's kind of what I was trying to get to in that first part. So we don't get overwhelmed. We're going to look at food. We're going to look at water. We're going to look at personal care products, because most of the toxicity is coming from food, because you eat 2, 3, sometimes 4 times a day. So that's just every single time. If you're eating, foods with toxins in them, that's going to be probably the biggest exposure that you're getting. So let's go into that. We'll talk about food. The biggest things. One of the things that I learned from this, of course, I talk a lot about eating organic foods, because organic foods have less pesticides and herbicides and less chemicals on them. That is true. So you want to go organic as much as possible with your foods to minimize toxicity. Also, you want to go non-GMO with your foods. We talked about that in the nutrition section, because they're also sprayed with more chemicals. But the other thing that I haven't really thought about recently, it says the longer a food has to travel and the more packaging involved, the greater the risk. Here's why: because the packaging itself, like the can or the plastic wrapping or the paper wrapping, and how they're sealed, that packaging itself leaches chemicals and toxins into the foods. So the closer you are to the source, the less the food that it has to the less food has to travel, less distances. Basically, eating local is great for a lot of different reasons. So that's one good thing to understand about toxicity, is less packaging is even better. Also, when talking about foods, and why do we even avoid toxins? Well, I want to read this from page 104. It says, workers in farms that use pesticides, herbicides, and fungicides, they're at higher risk of disease from direct exposure. So memory problems, depression, mood problems, headaches, insomnia, all sorts of different health issues like that can be coming directly from these toxins. What's up, Scott? Hey, Clara. I think you've been on every single week too so far. You're doing awesome. You're probably learning a ton. But yeah, we've got to avoid these toxins in our foods first and foremost. So as far as water goes, even though we have, our regulated city and town water systems, please do not be putting all your trust that, just because it passes a quote unquote regulation to go through the city water, that is by any means clean. They have standards that still have, they still have pharmaceutical drugs in them. Of course, they chlorinate and fluorinate the water, and there's still many toxins that are allowed at certain levels that are definitely not going to be the best for your health. So I never recommend people drinking tap water ever. So as far as water goes, purified water is going to be a great option. If you can get an in-home system, that's awesome. Of course, you're going to pay, a bigger price point for that, but that's going to be great. So under the sink filtration system is also going to be good. I'm a big fan of the reverse osmosis water systems to keep the toxins out of the water as well. Basically, as far as toxins from the water, if you can do at least two things, if you can't get a whole home water filtration system, if you can get at least these two things, then you're going to be protecting yourself really well. If you can get a shower filter, and if you can get a under the sink filtration, whether it's, carbon filtration, or personally, I like the reverse osmosis to get even more toxins and chemicals out of the water. You can get those two things and you're going to be doing really, really good. A lot of people don't realize the importance of a shower filter, but because of the chlorine, and then when that's heated up, the chemicals that are inhaled, through the lungs, and the skin is the largest organ in the body. And so that is absorbing a lot of the chemicals. So if you're in the city, or if you have, not a very, if you have a contaminated well, or just, still has a lot of chemicals, even in well water or city water, not having a shower filter can really be putting a heavy toxin load. And you think about it, most people shower at least once a day, most of the time. And so we're not concerned about, oh, am I going to do this once and it's going to kill me? We're concerned about the long-term accumulation leading to chronic disease and early death. In fact, there's a part that says that in here too. It's, we're concerned about the small accumulations that lead to big products, or big problems. So, You've got all sorts of things to be on the lookout for in the water: petrochemicals, PCBs, pharmaceutical residues, heavy metals are at the top of the list. And you want to aim for as close to zero extra particles as possible. So Jen's asking about a filter in the refrigerator. Yeah, I mean, that's a great, if you can check and see what kind of filter is. I think a lot of the refrigerator filters are going to be the carbon filters. Like you typically think like a triple carbon filter. If you replace those will usually do a very good job. They typically don't get replaced often enough, so you just got to check them and replace them often. That's a good start if that's where you're drinking most of your water. But I think the under the sink filtration is going to be even better, because you think about it, that's how you cook with that water, you're washing your hands with that water. But yeah, in the refrigerator, carbon filters are good too, as long as you keep them replaced frequently. Great question. All right, so that's talking about water. Personal care products. These are usually one of the ones that people don't realize the most. So I mentioned before, your skin, it's the largest organ in your body. It's very absorptive, and a lot of toxins can go directly into the bloodstream straight through the skin. So you've got shampoos, conditioners, lotions. For women, it's a lot the makeups. Then you've got your household products as well. So with the personal care products, some of the big ones are going to be phthalates and parabens, and these are big time endocrine disruptors. That means they mess with your hormones. So a lot of weight problems today, a lot of weight loss resistance is due to toxicity. And this is seen a lot because, I have people that come into the office, they want to lose weight, they start getting adjusted, which is awesome. That's just, everybody should be getting adjusted. And, they're getting healthier, but they're not seeing weight loss improvements, even though it is helping regulate hormones better at a more ideal level. They start working out as well, and they are, getting, more fit, but they're also slowly losing weight. They might even be doing like the advanced plan or the core plan that we talked about in chapter 4, and they're still seeing minimal results with weight loss. And that is typically then when you're doing those things and you're still not losing the weight and you've been evaluating them, then chances are that toxicity problems are causing weight loss resistance. So do not forget that toxicity plays a huge part in obesity. So that's a good thing to understand. And the more you can not only avoid toxins, but really start pulling these toxins out of your body once they're in there, the better you're going to do with getting closer to your ideal weight as well. And I talk about that just because weight loss is a goal for, most people today. So that's a good thing to understand about your personal care products. So some things that you want to look for, some keywords in products is going to be toxin free. It's not just, you don't want to just look for like all natural. That's not really a regulated word. There's two words. It's like toxin free and non-toxic are going to be two words you want to look for. However, you gotta become, either talk to a health professional that knows what they're doing with some of that stuff, like myself and my team in the office, who are your go-to people. Like, hey, is this a good product? Can you please look over this for me? I don't know what the heck these words are. And however you do your research, you look them up. Actually, here's a great tip for looking up personal care products. There's a website called ewg.org. I'll say that again. It's ewg.org. I think it stands for environmentalworkinggroup.org. Don't quote me on that, but it's ewg.org. And you can actually go into the website and you can type in products, and you can type in like certain chemicals or certain like ingredients, and they'll give you like a ranking, like, hey, is it low toxicity? Is it moderate toxicity? Or is it high toxicity? So I just used that a week ago when I was looking at some new products for you guys. So you got to make sure that you're starting to move in the direction of, if you're buying all just regular commercial products like Colgate toothpaste, and you're getting like commercial shampoo and conditioner. I don't even know what some of them are these days. It's been so long since I bought them. Pert Plus, herbal essence. I don't know. These are probably not even the ones they have anymore these days. But if you're getting commercial products like that, or just your regular like Jergens lotion and that type of stuff, you're slathering yourself in toxins on a daily basis. So really, really, it's a process though. Like, to try to like switch all your home stuff over in like a week, it can be tough. So, you pick a couple things at a time, and boom, you're slowly reducing your toxin load. And that's the goal here. Household products, like your cleaning products, like bleach, and just like your toilet bowl cleaner, your floor cleaners, bleach, your laundry detergent, all these things, you have to start switching them out too, because those ones are probably the most dangerous, because they're the most potent, because they're trying to do the biggest cleaning job. So starting to switch those out as well, going toxin free, or at least ones that are, moving in that direction. Air quality, in-home air quality. I did want to say a couple things about that. That's on page 108 of the Align Your Health book. So external, there's a lot of, talk about the poor air quality outside. Well, research shows that the air quality inside is actually more toxic than your outdoor air. So the thing you got to be concerned most about is the air quality inside of your home. 2 tips for that, because like if you getting a home air filtration system for the whole house, again, that's a large cost. It's a good idea if you can afford that. That's awesome. Most people probably aren't going to make that investment. We haven't yet. Got to look into that, see if that's something we want to do. But 2 awesome tips are keeping your windows open more. So if you have screens and you're not letting bugs in, getting fresh air into the house from the outside is awesome to improve your indoor air quality. And then also having plants in the house. Plants are able to bind toxins. They're able to the CO2, I believe, I don't exactly know the mechanism, but they either bind toxins, destroy toxins. These indoor plants are even some of them that are like easy to grow indoors, like low light plants. I think the book even mentioned like ferns. So just having an array of different house plants can really improve your oxygen levels and reduce the toxin load inside of your house. So that was 2 tips from the book that I really liked. In getting outside more, not spending, here's an idea. How about you don't spend your whole life indoors? Because most people are inside more than ever before. So if, one way is just get outside, take a walk, do more things outside, and you're going to be breathing better air quality. Go figure. All right. What's up, Dina? Fujicate.com is a good resource. I haven't checked that out yet. I'll definitely have to look that up. And it gives awesome. There's like a rating system on there as well. Thanks for the insight, Dina. That's awesome. Let's see. What else are we going to talk about with chapter 6? I think that was the most of what I wanted to cover with you guys. I did want to talk about detox supplementation right now, because They do mention it at the end of chapter 6. I know that we're talking about supplementation next in chapter 7, but since we're talking about detox, it just makes sense to talk about detox supplementation now. Some other solutions apart from supplementation, things that I love to detoxify the body: infrared sauna. That's great. You can go to different, massage therapy places or different clinics, even different wellness clinics as well. You can, purchase infrared sauna sessions. This year, the Shoopy household made an investment, and we got an infrared sauna at our house, which is fabulous. Great way to sweat out toxins, including heavy metals, is infrared sauna. So that's one great way to get toxins out of your body. Exercise. Sweating is still, I think sweating is the best way to be able to get toxins out. I think it's like God's most natural, abundant way to remove toxins is sweating through exercise. So moving your body, and just, we talked that oxygen and exercise, that's essential number 4. That's something that we have to be doing. So exercise, infrared sauna, massage will stimulate the lymphatic system, which can help flush toxins out of the body as well. And then there's supplementation. So, in our office, we're a Max Living chiropractic office. One product that I've been promoting for, 9-10 years now is the Detox system. It's a great product. It's a daily supplement. Most health experts agree that we should be detoxing, doing some sort of a detox at least quarterly. Personally, I think that's not enough. I think we need to be introducing protocols into our weekly and even daily habits as far as ways to detoxify, with not just one thing, but an array of things. And an easy way to do that is supplementation, because you take a capsule or you take a food or a drink, and boom, you're done for the day with that detox habit. So we use the Max Living Detox system. This is a really cool and powerful and gentle product as well. So it's a two-part system. The first part is going to be precursors that make up glutathione. If you read the book, glutathione is like the master antioxidant of the body. This will pull toxins out of the cell. It's also got milk thistle. It's also got spirulina and your glutathione precursors. Very powerful. Boom. Pulls toxins out of the cells. Then it doesn't just stop there. It's got another bottle, and that's got activated charcoal and magnesium in it. And activated charcoal, this has been being used for centuries, and this binds toxins so that they are safely eliminated from the body, so that they're not reabsorbed back into the bloodstream. So if you want to protect yourself, an easy way to do that, the Max Living Detox system, you take one in the morning, empty stomach, take one in the evening, empty stomach, with water. So here's some of the benefits. Obviously you take it just as a preventative thing to reduce your chances of cancer and oxidative stress, but also things that we see a lot of times too is, how we talked about weight loss resistance due to toxicity. I see people start taking this product and, lose anywhere from 3 to 13 pounds just by taking a month's supply of the Detox. So, obviously everybody's body is different, but we see weight loss. We see people using the bathroom more regularly. They're not constipated as much. It's easier to use the restroom because, let's face it, going poop every day is detoxifying the body. So if you're not pooping every day, then you're not getting toxins outside of the body. And my wife hates it when I talk about this, but if you, every period of time over 24 hours that you have not had a bowel movement, a process called putrefaction happens, where literally the fecal material inside of your gut, it's staying there too long, and toxins that are supposed to be expelled actually start getting reabsorbed back into the body and cause you to get sick because you're not going every day. And that's why I talk about poop all the time, because we've got to do everything we can to get our digestive system working. And something like the Max Living Detox system can definitely help to facilitate something like that. So that's just good thing to know. Got to detox the body. So infrared sauna, massage, exercise. You can do skin brushing, and then of course supplementation as well. And there's a lot of different ways to detox, even through supplementation, juice cleanses, water fasting. Those are some great other ways to detox. All righty, that's chapter 6. That's my synopsis for that. Let's move into chapter number 7, which is essential supplementation. I want to set us up properly for this chapter, because and it goes over a lot of different supplements. There's no way I'm going to be able to go over all the supplements. It's going to be pretty brief as far as not being able to talk about every single one of them. But before we even go into the certain supplements that I think are the most crucial, having an understanding that there is a bazillion supplements on the market today. Everybody and their brother has their own supplement line, and you go into the stores, there's thousands of different products. However, supplements are not regulated by the FDA. I mean, there's companies all the time that are like, just completely discredited for not having in them what they claim, or just using very poor quality things. And, a lot of them just says, hey, this is in it. And you break it down, you do the testing on it, and it doesn't even have that nutrient inside of it. So you will get what you pay for when it comes to supplementation. And that's why you got to know the company. You want a company that's going to be, very vocal about and transparent about their ingredients. When you ask them questions, if they answer questions, what are the founders and the owners of the company like? What are their standards? If you can kind of know that, the mission behind the company, and then if you can't figure that stuff out, that's why it's good to have a health professional. That's why you need, a Max Living chiropractor, or you need a naturopath, or you need somebody who's going to be doing the heavy lifting for you, doing the research, like, hey, what are the best products out there? Otherwise, you're going to more than likely 95% of the time pick something that's just a total waste of money, and worse, make you have more detriment than health benefit. Because if you take a poor quality product with fillers, dyes, preservatives, rancid oils, all sorts of crap, you would be better off just not buying anything. So you want to buy professional grade products. And if you can't figure out how to look into those, then you talk to me, you talk to my team, or you find a Max Living chiropractor near you, a health professional that's going to know what to look for. I had to say that, before we even went into them. Also, here's an important thing. We talk about the chiropractic philosophy, right? And that's so important when looking at all these other essentials, because it teaches us how to think. And you see, we never take a supplement to cure a disease. I'll say that again. We never take a supplement to cure a disease, never to cure a condition or cure a symptom. Even somebody who understands this like myself, it's very easy in our culture to get caught up in a this for that, a this for that, a this for that type of, a symptom, and then here's the cure for it. That's not really true. And it can be dangerous to think like that. Here's what I mean. We need to be looking at supplements as, hey, these are healthy things. These are nutrients and natural constituents that I'm going to give to my body so that the innate intelligence inside of my body, the healing power that God put inside of my body, will take that nutrient and then utilize it to become a healthier person. And then when I get healthier, that symptom may or may not get better. Does that make sense? So sometimes people are, oh, take this for that. Oh, it didn't work. It didn't cure my headaches. This didn't, cause me to lose weight. Well, then if you're thinking like that, then you've already messed up, because you started taking it for the wrong reason. We take supplements to get good nutrients into our body so that the innate intelligence inside of our body can utilize that to become a healthier person, regardless of whether or not the symptom actually goes away or the disease is cured. Because a good thing is a good thing is a good thing. And if we know that our body responds to that well, and it's a good thing to put inside of our bodies, we will continue to do it regardless of whether the pain goes away or the weight gets lost or the headache goes away. We got to understand that. Now, of course, we want our pains and problems to go away. It's not that we're not caring about symptoms, but if you're looking at supplements as a cure for a symptom or a disease, then you've got the wrong perspective. Hopefully that landed, because that's important to understand. With that being said, let's look at some of the supplements. All right. So first I want to talk about a multivitamin. So there is some good research on the benefits of multivitamin, lowering risk factors, people being healthier overall by taking a multivitamin. And most multivitamins, they contain an array of fat-soluble vitamins, water-soluble vitamins, and your B vitamins, and also trace minerals as well. So there's a couple different, there's two main groups that kind of have it wrong. And Dr. BJ talks about this in here too. Some people are like, well, I don't need supplementation because I can get all my nutrients from food. Well, that's pretty much impossible. Good luck with that. I don't, even the best health expert in the world would have a really hard time tracking that just from their food or getting that from your food. So that's not true. But then there's the other side. They're saying, well, I can eat, like, I don't have to eat that healthy, but I take, I got a counter full of like 50 supplements. So I'm getting all my nutrients. And as long as I get that, then I'm good. It's like, well, that's not true either. The best path is, the truth is really, it's somewhere in the middle, because they're called supplements for a reason. They supplement, they don't replace. They supplement a healthy diet. So you're eating good and nutrient dense, advanced plan and core plan foods. And then you're putting supplementation on top of that for optimal health, not just to avoid disease. You want optimal function. And that's why I do think that a great professional grade multivitamin, like we got the men's and women's Max Living multivitamins, is something that pretty much every human should be taking, is a great quality multivitamin. You're looking for as many organic ingredients as possible in there. No toxins, no fillers, no dyes, no preservatives, no rancid fats. And that's what you can trust from the Max Living brand. So that's the multivitamin. Then also talks a lot about greens. This one really woke me up this morning. I was like, man, I have not been taking a greens powder lately. And, I eat a lot of vegetables, but still there's just so many benefits of the loads of antioxidants and phytonutrients from getting a greens powder. You can put them in your smoothies. You can just drink them with water. Today, they're like way better formulated than they were, 10, 20 years ago, when they just tasted like absolute junk and you literally had to choke them down. But a greens powder, it's sure, it's a supplement, but that's kind of more like a food. Like, you're getting real greens. You can get raw greens, and then You can get ones that are sweetened with stevia. Some of them have different good tastes and flavors. Just make sure you do not get a green that has like artificial sweeteners or like sucralose or aspartame, or you don't want one with sugar in it. So either get, a totally green unflavored one if you can handle that taste wise, or you get something that's sweetened with a natural sweetener. Tons of antioxidants in your greens powders. Vitamin D3, probably one of my favorite supplements. However, the best way to get vitamin D3, if the clouds would ever go away, it would be from the sun. So that's the most natural way, is getting outside more. Like I said before, like people are indoors more than ever. Yet, hey, get this. Do you know that we have more skin cancer today than we ever have in the history of mankind? And people say that the sun causes skin cancer, right? But we have more people indoors than ever before, and we have more skin cancer. Could there be a correlation? And obviously there's a lot of factors and a lot of variables that make Americans and people so sick today, but I don't think it's a coincidence, because vitamin D that we get from the sun is one of the most powerful cancer killing vitamins. It's hormone, actually, prohormone. It's one of the most best ways to kill cancer. So yeah, you don't want to burn yourself and go out and get crusted blisters and, burn yourself over and over from the sun, because that could cause skin cancer. It's like, duh. But being inside all the time lowers your vitamin D levels and therefore makes you more susceptible to a lot of different types of cancers and other degenerative illnesses. In fact, if apart from like a multivitamin, the number one supplement that I think I could only tell people to take one other supplement, it'd be vitamin D3. So you can't really, there's not a lot of foods that have vitamin D3 in it. So that's why you need to get it from the sun, or you need to get it from supplementation. And it's really easy to supplement with it. And you need to be taking vitamin D3. You don't want to be taking D2. Doesn't absorb well. You want to be taking vitamin D3. Most natural health experts today saying, for an adult dosage, somewhere between 5 to 10,000 IUs per day. RDA recommended daily amount is somewhere like only 800 IUs, which is like incredibly low. That's just barely enough to prevent osteomalacia and rickets. And you don't see people, getting rickets these days, but that's not enough for optimal levels. It's just enough to, not have your bones break in half. So 5 to 10,000 IUs per day. However, this is an easy test. You can get a vitamin D test. And a lot of people, in fact, I think I read a statistic a year or two ago that said 90% of Americans are chronically deficient in vitamin D. So that means almost everybody needs to be supplementing and getting outside more. So vitamin D3. One other thing I wanted to say about this, a lot of people, especially women, are concerned about bone health and osteoporosis and keeping strong bones. Not just for women, but it seems like women ask me about it more. But they're like, oh, I should take a calcium, or they'll ask about these osteoporosis medications, which it's like, oh man, I hate those medications. It's like there's so many better ways to increase your bone density. And so instead of taking just a calcium supplement or worrying about that, in fact, most of the time, vitamin D deficiency is leading to calcium and phosphorus not being absorbed. So if you are worried about bone density, the first thing that you need to do, the primary thing that you need to do, is get your vitamin D3 levels up so you can actually absorb calcium and phosphorus, and then see how your bone density is. Also, then, of course, weight-bearing activities are the other best way. So I thought that was important to throw in here. Vitamin D3. is one of my favorite supplements. Most people should be taking it. If you do not have good vitamin D3 levels, it can lead to, get this. So this is from a research article in 2010 showed that vitamin D3 deficiency can result in obesity, diabetes, hypertension, depression, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, osteoporosis. The list goes on and on and on. Basically, that's why vitamin D is one of the most important things to be getting. All right. Talks about probiotics. Yep. Oh, in fact, our Max Living vitamin D3 comes with probiotics. So you're kind of getting a 2-in-1. Probiotics, those are the buddies in your belly. Those are the good bacteria. We got to be loading up the good bacteria in our stomach for a strong immune system. Remember, 80% of your immune system lies within your gut. So that's why having a healthy gut and digestive tract with good probiotics is important. Of course, you can supplement with that, but also eating fermented foods, fermented teas, sauerkraut, kombuchas, coconut yogurt. If you're going to do dairy, you got live active cultures of probiotics in there. Make sure it's organic, full fat. Make sure it's a clean dairy. But fermented foods are going to be great for getting probiotics. In Max Living offices like ours, we have a 50 billion. It's called the 50B probiotic. And then that's going to be a higher dosage one. And then we've got the D3 plus probiotics, which is a good, just like daily amount level, maintenance level, I should say. So that's probiotics, omega-3s. So the reason that this is also a staple supplement is because most Americans are eating too much omega-6s. Omega-9s can be made from other fats, so they're not essential, but omega-6s and omega-3s do need to be consumed from the diet. However, most of the foods are going to be tons of omega-6s, so you don't really need to worry about getting more of those. You probably want to bring those down, and you got to bring your omega-3 levels up. Ideal ratios are somewhere between 1-to-1 and 4-to-1. So the 4-to-1 meaning you can have about 4 times as many omega-6s as omega-3s. 1-to-1 or 2-to-1 would even be better. That's going to be very difficult, but that's why supplementing with omega-3s is critical, and you want to get your omega-3 levels up. Because again, there's not tons and tons of foods and tons of fats that have omega-3s, but some that do are going to be like your hemp seeds, your chia seeds, your flax seeds, and then you've got grass-fed beef has some great omega-3s in it as well. 100% grass-fed beef, wild-caught Alaskan salmon, going to be great omega-3s, but I think a staple supplement is going to be your omega-3 supplementation. We've got the Max Omega, which is just all omega-3, and then we've got the Optimal Omega, which is probably one that most of our patients are taking on a regular basis. Great for your heart, great for your brain. You know, your brain's made up mostly of fat. Great for your brain. And great way to reduce inflammation, and has even been shown to reduce pain levels as well. So I think that's a critical one. I talked about so far the multivitamin, vitamin D3, probiotics, omega-3s. Those are probably the 4 most important supplements that I think that most people should be taking. Of course, there's other things as well, and we could have a whole week-long seminar on supplementation, but I wanted to make sure that I hit those. And the last thing that I want to go over here is I wanted to read this. I thought this was really good perspective here. This is page 136. It's the last page of the chapter 7 on essential supplementation. It says, when in doubt, find a professional. Like when you're looking for supplements, instead of just, meandering down the grocery store, or, asking the clerk, or, stepping into the GNC or something, like when in doubt, find a professional. Talk to me, talk to my team. we look at supplements all the time. We compare them. We're trying to find the best ones, and you know, we'll be your health advocate for you when it comes to supplementation. That's it for that chapter. Chapter 8. It's the last chapter that we're going to talk about. Hey, Cliff, thanks for joining us. You've been on a few of these calls the last couple of weeks as well. You know, they call them calls. I'm so used to calling them calls, but, you know, we're not on the phone anymore. So I don't know what you call these things. Facebook Live. Anyways, anywho, we're moving on. Chapter 8, mindset. They're all the essentials. They're all just that. They're essential, meaning you can't do without them. Like, you cannot have a healthy life if you're missing any of them. But if you forced me to ask, if you asked me and forced me to tell you what I thought the most important essential is, I would tell you it's mindset. Because all the other essentials, the things that we do, like the practical application of exercise, chiropractic, minimizing toxins, and nutrition, they all stem from our mindset, our thoughts, how we think about our health, how we think about ourselves in our life. Your actions are come from your thoughts. And that's why mindset is so key. And there on page 141, there is a great little paragraph here that I wanted to talk about, because the words that we use and the thoughts that we have play a big role on our health and getting the things that we want to achieve, the things that we're destined for, which is to be healthy. Hey, God wants you to be healthy. Like, people were created to be healthy. And so we've got to first and foremost believe that, and using words in our mindset plays a part in that. So it says, on page 141, it says, each time we uttered a definitive statement like always, never, can't, or won't, we limit ourselves. These limiting beliefs or bad beliefs, they restrict our potential. Look around at how many people in your life are stressed, tired, depressed, and down on themselves. They're burned out, worn out, and giving up. And I bet if you look at some of those people that are in that sort of shape, and they've been that way for a while, I'll bet you that that's a Midwestern thing there. I bet you that you'll find them using words like I can't, or I'll never, or just these definitive limiting words. Because whether you've heard the statement before, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right. So understanding how powerful your words are and having a possibility mindset is something that is going to be very important for you getting healthy and staying healthy. So it talks a little bit about in this next section here in mindset. Oh, where is it now? It talks about sleep, but also some other things that you can do to have a positive mindset. Oh man, I can't find it right now. Oh, here it is. It's in the section of prioritizing the practical. And it talks about, it says, meditate, visualize, and what mantras to use. And the wording here almost makes it seem like it's like a little, play in that it's not important type of thing. But I think these are definitely, I don't know if I'm understanding it correctly, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about these because I think they're incredibly important. So the health of your mind, think of working on your mindset the same way that you would think about like doing a workout. Like you have dedicated time, like you're blocking off 15 minutes a day or 30 minutes, whatever it is, to do a workout. How many of you are blocking off 15 minutes a day to get your mind right? Like specifically to improve your mindset. Well, this is a habit that I've been doing for years, and I found that it works best for many people, especially for me. Not for everyone. As long as you're doing it consistently, it's good. But for me, it works best in the morning. This is a part of a morning routine. Like I am a huge like fanatic for how important the morning routine is. If anybody watching on here knows what I'm talking about, give me a thumbs up or let me know that if you have a morning routine on here, and I'd like to talk about that a little bit. So for me, it's quiet time in the morning. Like Jesus talks about in the Bible the importance of solitude. Like, sure, he went out and he helped all these people, and he healed the sick, and he preached the gospel, and he was around thousands of people all the time. But guess what else he did? He would just like in the middle of something, he was known to just completely go off by himself and just like be with God, be in prayer. Solitude is so incredibly important. Like before the kids get up in the morning, like before you got to take care of the grandkids, before you like rush off to work and scurry on with a busy day. It doesn't like if you're super busy that day, you absolutely need to be getting some time for yourself to get your mind right. And some things that you can do during that time. And I've played with this a lot over the years, and it does not have to be like a strict regimented thing. I do this and then I do this and then I do this, because then it can get really not fun and actually can get very counterproductive. But some things that you can do, like just quiet time, deep breathing, prayer. For you, maybe it is reading something like maybe positive or inspirational. For me, it's my Bible or my devotional, because I'm a Christian guy. But also, some other things that you can do, visualization. This is something that I incorporate from time to time. It's like, hey, I'll see my day in the ideal state that I want to see it for the day. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to drive to work today, and I'm going to be super happy, and I'm just going to be thinking about all the good things in my life. And then I'm going to get to work, and I'm like, say hi to everybody, and I'm going to be nice today. And then I'm going to do this, and it's going to flow smoothly. And I'm going to do this. Then I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to have my lunch break, and it's going to be awesome. And then I'm going to work out, and I'm going to stretch, and I'm going to feel good. And then my energy level is going to be up. And then I'm going to drive back to work, and I'm just going to jam out and on my way, or listen to something cool. And then I'm going to go back, and I'm going to get all these people adjusted today, and I'm going to turn their power on, and they're going to love it. And we're going to be high-fiving, and we're going to have a good time, and we're saving people's lives and helping more people. And then I'm going to go home and have an awesome, dinner with my wife, and just relax and recharge and I'm going to sleep really good and have a great, 7-8 hours of sleep that night, or whatever it is. Anyways, I'm just taking you through an example. Not that it always happens like that, right? Because like that's not real life. But the more that you do that, the more that you can like visualize good things happening in your day, guess what is more likely to happen? Good things. So I think visualization is a huge part of a healthy mindset. It also says mantras. So if you don't know what this means, these are, whether it's, mantra, or some people call them incantations. I think that's kind of a weird word, but also I call them affirmations. So like positive affirmations, like I have my positive affirmations. So these are where you do want to say, positive affirmations, definitive statements, like I am, like I'm a child of God. I'm chosen. I'm patient. I'm kind. I'm peaceful. I'm joyful. I'm set apart. I'm punctual. I'm happy. I'm this, I'm that. What are all the things that you like want to be, or, you know, that you want for your life? And some people are like, oh, that stuff that's hocus pocus stuff. And, you know, that's, you can't just name it, claim it type of stuff. It's like, well, there's some very clear science that shows that positive affirmations work. And if you are a believer, it actually is biblical. It's very biblical because, you know, in the Bible, God calls things that are not as though they were. And that's one way. And he talks about, you know, the power of life and death is in the what? The power of life and death is in the tongue. Our words can literally bring us closer to more good things in life, or they can literally destroy us, and they can destroy our families by the words they're saying. In fact, there's a speech center in the brain where the words that we're speaking aloud are actually go to the brain, and this speech center of the brain has neurological input to make physiological changes over every other part of the body through the nervous system. So that is one of the biggest breakthrough research findings that show that our words, meaning positive affirmations or negative, affect your life in a huge way. So I'm a huge fan of positive affirmations, quiet time, centering yourself, prayer, positive thinking. I like to do this first thing in the morning. You don't have to. But before I fight all of my battles and I go out to, you know, the highway where many mental battles are fought for a lot of people, and traffic jams and street lights, before I even get to the office every day, I'm like, almost every single day I'm doing a morning routine. You could also do it at lunch. You can do it before bed. I don't care. Who cares when you do it, as long as it works for you and you find it something that's actually going to recharge and help you, then it's going to be beneficial. But I'm very passionate about that, and I think that's a tool that many people do not do, that if they started doing that one thing, it could radically change your life. Awesome. Got a few people on here that also incorporate a morning routine. Oh, by the way, here is not a good morning routine. And if this is your morning routine, I'm sorry. But here's not a good routine. Wake up. Hit the snooze button. Oh, I don't want to get up today. Oh, gosh, I got so much to do today. Whether you're saying this out loud or whether in your head. Oh, I don't know how I'm going to get through the day. I'm just going to snooze one more time. Get up, feet on the floor, scurry over to the coffee, machine. Oh, God, and you get your coffee. And then you like turn on the news, right? And then you're like watching the news, like drinking your coffee. And then you're getting filled with like all this, like, oh, like 50 people died today. And like, oh, here's a fire. And then here's all the terrible things that are happening in the world. Or like, and then you scroll through Facebook and check your emails. And that is like, unfortunately, that's what a lot of people today do. And they don't even realize how destructive that is. It basically, you're not taking control of your mind. You're letting your flesh rule your body. You're getting completely filled with just like terrible news and fear and all the bad things that are happening. And then you're numbing your mind with mindless activities on Facebook. And like, hey, don't get me wrong, I like Facebook, but that's just a bad way to start your day, in my humble opinion. So I gave you an example of what are some constructive things that you can do, and everybody's can look different. Oh, yes, some people love to listen to like positive music or like uplifting music in the morning as well. Other thing that I wanted to hit on here before we finish this up, because I feel like every week I keep going longer and longer. And I don't know why that is. I guess I like to talk a lot. Hey, you guys are still on here. You're still watching. So I must be doing something good. But I finishing up here as quickly as I can. Wanted to talk about a couple other things. And as far as mindset goes, we cannot leave out sleep. You know, sometimes people think or tell me like, hey, you know, sleep should be its own essential. And I mean, I kind of agree. You got to put it in somewhere. It's a critical thing. We need sleep. So if you want to be a healthy thinker, have a healthy mind and a healthy life, healthy mindset, then yeah, you've got to be getting recharged at night. I'll read the stat here. It says when it comes to sleep, at least 7 full hours every night, according to the CDC's data collection. If you're getting less than 7 full hours, it's associated with increased risk of obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure, coronary heart disease, stroke, mental illness, and all-cause mortality. That's bad. Basically, you need to get 7+ hours of sleep if you can. So focusing on that for a healthy mindset. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about is gratitude and joy. And this is one of the things that I actually incorporate into my morning routine that I have. Of all the emotions that God has given us to have, you know, angry, sad, happy, confused, there's all the different emotions, right, that we have. Gratitude is the most powerful of all the emotions. And when looking at energy level ratings, vibrational energies in the body, when feeling these emotions, gratitude ranks number 1 on highest vibrational level. So it's the most powerful emotion that we have. And also, it's the best way to conquer anxiety. In fact, it is physiologically impossible for the body to be experiencing gratitude and fear at the same time. The body, it cannot have gratitude and a fear sensation at the same time. So if you're somebody who's really trying to overcome stress, overcome anxiety and worry, if you can focus your mind strong enough on gratitude, it will eliminate it, at least for a period of time. And then I actually found this to be in scripture, because Philippians 4:6 talks about that. So if you're interested in that, you can look at Philippians 4:6. Talks about being anxious for nothing. And there's a part that says that it has to be done with gratitude, which I thought was really cool. I'm like, that makes so much sense when science and the Bible match up together. Happens all the time. It's super cool stuff. So gratitude. So here's what I do. Like, one of the first things I get up in the morning. Yes, I do go get my nice big cup of organic coffee in the morning. I come right up here to the master guest suite at Shoopy Plantation. I look at the nature and I look at the trees if it's not too dark yet. And I sit here, and the first thing that I do is I say, I just thank God for all the things that I have. Like, thank you for my beautiful wife. Thank you for Shoopy Plantation. Thank you for my health. Thank you for my awesome dog. Thank you for my family, my friends. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And you just like really try to feel those emotions and truly like just deeply appreciate what you have. That gratitude, it centers me, it grounds me. If I only have a little bit of time in the day, if I can get that little activity done in like 3 to 5 minutes, boom, I'm having a way better day. I've got a great mindset. I can go out and have a much better chance at conquering the day with using gratitude. That's one of the things I wanted to say. I cannot stress enough the power of a positive mindset, being a positive person, gratitude, getting good sleep, having a can-do attitude. I mean, that's just a huge, continually being a lifelong learner and empowering yourself to think that you can live a healthy life, that you can live the 5 essentials, and it's something that is possible for you, that you were created to be healthy. I can't tell you enough how important having a great mindset is. And I will say that I have had a fabulous time with you guys the last 4 weeks going through this entire book, the Align Your Health book by Dr. B.J. Hardick, discovering the essentials of living a fulfilled, healthy life. Goes through all 5 essentials of max living. If you got anything out of this whatsoever, I'm going to ask that you share this video with a friend. Send it in an email, give them a link, tell them to check us out on my YouTube channel or this Facebook page. And again, all 4 parts are now recorded. Part 1, part 2, part 3, and part 4 broken down for you to come back to time and time again. And remember, this is not just a one-time read. This is something that you keep on hand. And you know what? The more beat up, the more stains, like I got stains on my book, the more crinkled pages, the more underlines, the more beat up this baby is, the happier I am. Because that means the more it's in your life, the more you're using it, and the healthier that you and your family are going to be. Remember, there's over I think 100 healthy recipes in this book as well. Put it to practice. It's not just a good read. It's a way that you can apply this stuff to your life. I hope you have an awesome day, and I'll talk to you soon. God bless.